The silence is the heaviest thing Kael carries. It is heavier than the worn leather pouch holding the last 3 dream stones of his people, heavier than the fire-hardened spear in his hand. He stands in the center of the clearing, the ash from the final funeral pyre cooled beneath his bare feet. There is no one left to mourn. He charts the names anyway, a low whisper into the indifferent green vastness. Dilara, who could read the mood of the sky in the flight of a pterodactyl. Bor, whose laughter was a rock slide. The children, he does not say their names aloud. They catch in his throat like bursts. The shaking sickness took them all. It came not with a fever or a rash, but with a quiver in the hands, a fog in the mind, a final, spastic dance that stole the light from their eyes, a curse from a nameless god. A tremor runs up his own arm, an unwelcome echo of their fate. He clenches his fist, the knuckles white, willing the muscles to obey. The neurological fire has been lit in him, too. He feels its embers glowing behind his eyes, knows he is maybe a dozen cycles of the moon before his own mind unravels. This is the brutal reality of his world. The great predators, the fundaminous lizards that own the earth, they kill with tooth and claw and honest, understandable death. This is a ghost that hunts from within, a thief of memory and motion. This chronicle of hominid history is ending in a quiet, twitching heat, but Kael remembers. It is his burden and his only weapon. He remembers the last council. The elders huddled and afraid, their hands shaking as they pointed to the periphery of their world. They spoke of the mountain-backed beasts, the slow, placid giants with plates like rows of sharpened flint along their spines. The Stegosaurus. For generations, the clan had watched them. The lumbering herds moved through the fern prairies like living, breathing landscapes, their spiked tails wafting low. They ate the same sour berries, drank from the same plague-touched streams, yet they never sickened. They never fell into the shuddering fits. This simple observation, a flicker of humanity's dawning intellect, was dismissed in the panic. But Kael, the keeper of stories, held on to it. He saw it not as coincidence, but as a question the world was asking. No, he is the only one left to answer it. To study these magnificent dinosaurs is to embark on a new kind of hunt. This is the dawn of a new kind of thinking for these early humans, a concept that future minds might call a foundation of anthropology observation, not for the sake of a meal, but for the sake of understanding. His clan is gone. His body is failing. His choice is simple and terrible: to lie down and let the silence consume him, or to walk toward the armored gods and tear a final secret from their ancient flesh for the sake of any human ancestors who might follow. He turns his back on the empty huts, on the ghosts of his people, and walks toward the deep forest. The hunt for a cure has begun. Days bleed into one another, marked only by the rising and falling of the oppressive sun. The forest is a cacophony of prehistoric life, a living, breathing entity that hums with the drone of insects and the distant calls of creatures Kael has no name for. He moves like a ghost through this world, his own fading presence a counterpoint to the vibrant, violent life surrounding him. His left hand outrembles almost constantly, a traitorous limb he sometimes pins under his body when he sleeps to still it. These are the moments he feels the true, cold weight of his quest. He is not merely observing this ancient turf. He is a dying scholar undertaking a final, desperate work of paleontology, with his own body as the ticking clock. His survival skills are tested not by the hunt for food he chews on roots and grubs. His stomach is tight not but by the hunt for a single, specific animal. He finds it near a sluggish, black-water creek. It is a male, old and solitary. Its hide is a map of ancient battles, scarred and pitted. One of its dorsal plates is chipped, and it moves with a ponderous, weary grace. It is magnificent, but Kael's eyes are drawn to the thing his elders whispered of: a dark, velvety moss, and almost black algae, that coats the dinosaurs' keratin-OUS plates, growing thickest in the valleys between them. He watches from the cover of giant ferns, his heart a frantic drum against his ribs. This is the source. It must be. The Stegosaurus dips its head to drink, utterly unaware of the small, dying hominid who sees it not as a threat or a meal, but as a living, breathing vessel of hope. The vigil becomes his life. He shadows the great beast, learning its patterns, its preferred feeding grounds, the slow rhythm of its existence. He is so focused on his subject that he almost misses the other observer. It is an Allosaurus, lean and scarred, a predator in its prime. It stalks the old Stegosaurus with a patient, reptilian intelligence. Kael feels a spike of pure, primal fear. His quarry is now another's. He watches for 2 days as the theropod tests the Stegosaurus, darting in, fainting, looking for a moment of weakness. The old herbivore is slow, but its defense is formidable. The 4 deadly spikes of its Tragomizer sweep low to the ground with devastating force. But the Allosaurus is relentless. It is not a matter of if, but when. Here is the hard choice, born of desperation. Kael could let the dinosaur fight play out. Once the Allosaurus makes its kill, he could scavenge the plates from the carcass. It is the safe, logical path. But what if the algae, the secret, dies with the beast? What if it needs the living blood, the warmth as a living creature? To hold its power, a tremor shakes his entire body. A spasm of sickness and resolve. He cannot let it die. He, a fragile creature of fading strength, must become the guardian of a 20-ton behemoth. He scrambles up a rocky outcrop overlooking the clearing where the Allosaurus is pressing its attack. He gathers loose stones. He does not have the strength to harm the predator, but he has the intelligence to annoy it. As the Allosaurus lunges, Kael hurls a rock, not at the creature, but at a stone slab near its head. The sharp crack echoes through the clearing. The Allosaurus flinches, its head snapping up, its yellow eye fixing on the motion. Kael throws another, and another. He becomes a persistent, unpredictable nuisance. A distraction the predator's brain isn't wired to process. The hunt is no longer simple. The frustrated Allosaurus lets out a guttural hiss, gives the Stegosaurus one last look, and melts back into the trees. Kael slumps against the rock, his arm aching, his body slick with sweat. He is but the armored god another day. Kael's body is a rebellion. The world of these prehistoric animals operates on a simple, brutal calculus of energy, and he is deep in deficit. The sickness has laid siege to his nerves. The tremors now so violent he must wedge his spear into the crook of his arm to carry it. Time is no longer measured in the passing of moons, but in the brief, lucid moments between the seizures that rack his frame. He is a ghost haunting his own body. Yet he persists. His duty as the Stegosaurus' unlikely guardian, the only anchor in a mind turning to mist. The Allosaurus still lurks, a patient, terrifying shadow in the periphery. But Kael's frantic, unpredictable defense has made the hunt too complex, too irritating, for now. The sky breaks. The rains come, a silver sheet that blurs the edges of the world. Kael huddles under a rock overhang, his teeth chattering from a cold that is more than just water. Out in the downpour, the old Stegosaurus stands impassive, its scarred hide slick and dark. Water cascades over its back, sluicing through the thick, velvety algae on its plates. It gathers in rivulets, dripping from the keratin no US edges onto the ferns and cycads below. And there, in the grey gloom, Kael sees it. The flicker of insight that changes everything. The plants touched by the runoff from the dinosaur's back are different. They are a deeper, healthier green, while their neighbors are yellowed and blighted. He has seen this blight everywhere. A creeping sickness in the flora that mirrors the one in his own blood. The connection flashes. A bolt of lightning in his foggy mind. It is not about eating the algae. It is about the water. The algae is a filter. It cleanses the poison from the rain, and the dinosaur benefits from the pure water absorbed through its skin or dripping onto its food. A perfect symbiosis. The dinosaur provides the algae a home in the sun, and the algae provides its host with life, free of the unseen taint in the earth. The revelation is a cruel, magnificent gift. It arrives just as a powerful spasm seizes him, throwing him against the rock wall. The world tunnels to a pinpoint of light. The end is here. He cannot test the theory. He cannot save himself. He can only leave a warning. A map for those who might come after. This final, selfless act is the very bedrock of human evolution, the desperate need to transfer knowledge beyond a single, mortal lifetime. He crawls from his shelter, dragging his failing legs toward a shallow cave he had marked days before. The wall inside is smooth, a canvas of soft sandstone awaiting its story. He pulls out his sharpest piece of flint, one of the last ancient tools of his people. His hand is a leaf in a gale. To control the tremors, he pins his right wrist to the wall with his left hand. Turning his entire body into a brace, he begins to carve. Shows the unmistakable shape of the Stegosaurus. Its back is salt-water rigid plates. Then, he scratches the texture of the algae onto them. He etches a cloud, and from it, falling lines for rain. The lines flow over the plates and drip down onto a small, stick-figure hominid. He carves the figure not shaking, but standing straight, holding a spear. It is a simple, desperate equation, a petroglyph of hope. Each line is a war against his own failing body. The flint slips, gasping his knuckles, but he is beyond pain. As he finishes, the flint falls from his nerveless fingers. The story is told. He slumps against the cool stone, his cheek resting beside his final work. A legacy that future archaeology might one day find. A pivotal clue to the survival of Homo sapiens. His breath rattles, then stills. Outside, the old Stegosaurus bellows into the rain. A lonely, ancient sound. It is the last thing Kael hears before the silence finally takes him. Kael's body returns to the earth, but his story remains, etched in stone. For seasons, then for generations, the cave holds its secret. The crude drawings are silent testament to the last shaman. It speaks of a profound shift, a turning point in the hominid mind from seeing the great beasts only as food or threat, to seeing them as a source of knowledge, a living puzzle to be solved. His lonely vigil, his desperate act of altruism, was more than the end of a clan. It was the birth of an idea. It was the genesis of science, the first controlled observation, the first hypothesis tested and recorded for those yet to come. His legacy is not in the life he failed to save, but in the question he answered and passed into the future, a whisper of defiance against a world that was supposed to erase him without a trace. It is the story of how our ancestors learned that the greatest weapon against the thunder of a dinosaur's footstep was the quiet scratch of a stone upon another stone. What, then, is the true measure of a life? Is it the number of suns it sees, or the length of the shadow its ideas cast? This has been an alternate prehistory survival chronicle. The past is never truly dead. It is a landscape we all carry within our bones. And on a distant, wind-swept plain, a different clan looks to the sky and sees not birds, but shadows with leathery wings, and begins to wonder if the secrets of flight could be stolen from a god with a spear-like beak.